It has been said that the world is ruled by signs and symbols. And there's no time in history in which that is more true than right now. The amount of signs and symbols that we're being shown as a whole, the people, are enormous. And you have to be able to look at the signs and see the signs and determine which signs are real. So what is real? What is not real? And the signs that are real, what should you do based on what you're seeing so far as a sign? Like you take, for instance, this image here. This image was taken, I guess it's close to about a week ago now, of the White House. And there was if you look at the imagery, there was a supposed riot, and it looks like there's smoke or fire or tear gas, and there's lots of people running around, and we see a dark horse, and we see that's reared up on his hind legs, and we see the White House that is, all the lights have been turned out, basically, except for the one in the center there. So, is this a real sign, or is this not real? And once you determine that, how should you react to this sign? What should you take from it? Are there any actions that you would need to take based on this single sign? And depending on where you're at in your level of becoming awake and aware in this world, you're going to take this sign differently. Each person is going to read this differently. It's an interesting thing, as thousands of people will be viewing this video. Each person will see this sign a little different. And because they see this sign a little different, they will take a little different path or actions or non-action of this sign. When I look at this sign, I see a orchestrated event. I see that unless this was wanted to happen, this would never happen. Meaning the smoke and the police in riot gear and all the men running around and the tear gas and with no masks on. There's tear gas that was out there, but nobody had any masks, really. And while this is all going on, it's said that the President of the United States went into the bunker underneath the White House. And that's a sign. Part of the sign, right? It's a sign, in my opinion, of what is coming, yet not coming. And what I mean by that is the imagery that you're seeing here is absolutely coming. But it's not coming in the way that an average person would look at this and see it as coming. Meaning, it's going to happen. It's going to be real in some places and sometimes, but it's not real. You understand? It's orchestrated. It's a put-on, staged event. Our life right now, we're absolutely surrounded by orchestrated events. We have this cerveza bug that's going on right now. That's an orchestrated event. It looks like it's real. If you go out in public, you see people with masks on. If you go in a store, all the cleaning products and stuff for getting rid of what they call VIRUSs, those are all sold out. So it appears that there's a pandemic going on, So those are signs. People wearing masks, that's a sign. That's a sign that there must be something happening. Must be something to be afraid of. They're afraid of it, so you should be afraid of it. All the cleaning products are all sold out. For some reason, all the toilet paper is all still sold out. And there's shortages of meats and shortages of different kinds of things. So you see that there are things going on, yet many of us, at least here, know that this is all orchestrated. It's not real. This is an image that one of y'all guys sent me. You know who you are. That they took. It's a sign. The plot against America. Well, it's a sign, and you have to read into that sign and determine what you see out of it. It looks like a red, white, and blue flag hanging down, but it's either bloody or it's tattered, and it says the plot against America. Well, first off, you have to believe that there is such a thing as an America, and whether that's a real thing or whether that's a fantasy that we've all built up in our minds about some place being called America, and with certain ideals that based in this place. And then you have to realize, okay, we have a plot against this America. Well, what is the America? Well, the America basically are the people. So this is the plot against the people that live in this place called America, right? And what is this plot? So you try to, you're trying to read the signs, right? And these signs, they're everywhere. Here's another sign. The same person sent this to me, and I appreciate it. It says Westworld. And this is a HBO television show. I think just like this, the plot against America. Yep. So here's another sign. It says, free will is not free. And Olympic Street or something. That's interesting. But it says Westworld. Kind of got some colors and some imagery of America. And looks like a body being pierced by something. So you have a sign. So what does the sign mean to you? All the imagery that we're seeing right now is all about what? It's all about the fall of America. Well, what is America? America is this fantasy that we've all built up in our minds. Since we were children, we were told we lived in America. We were Americans. And we were taught that pretty much every other country out there were not as good as us, and that they were, most of them, evil, and that we were better, that we were exceptional somehow. Right? Here's another sign. This is a very strange sign, but a sign. She, I think it was a lady, might have been a gentleman that took this, but I think it was a lady. Same as with those other ones. I have no idea what this is advertising, but it's a sign. And it's meant to deliver a message. And obviously it's related to things that are going on right now, but if you can see, looks like destruction, looks like rioting that's been taking place on a checkerboard floor. Duality. So you're riding down the road and you see this. I'd say that's a sign, right? But what is it a sign of? Well, it immediately makes you think that we're under military occupation. America is under military occupation by America. Is it? Or is it just an illusion that we are? You have to ask yourself, would these soldiers ever even fire on Americans? Well, maybe some of them. There's always that chance. But would they really do anything other than have the appearance of occupation by our own forces and our own sons and daughters that signed up to defend us and defend the fantasy of America from the fantasy of that all the other countries are out to get us? When the truth is, during our entire lifetimes, all the other countries and all the wars that have taken place and all the conflicts have all been orchestrated. Just like how we started out here in front of the White House. Orchestrated. It's not real. Real world implications, because a lot of people died. But they died because they believed the fantasy. For the most part. They died because they believed the fantasy. They died because they believed that this truckload of soldiers was coming to kill them. They believed the fantasy. Okay? So we have to determine what's real and what's not real in order to get through the coming period that's coming. Because the signs are going to get scarier. A lot scarier. This is just a military truck or several of them driving by. They don't have their weapons out. They're not pointing them at you. But yet it's still a little disturbing, right? Because we're not used to seeing it. We've been exceptional, all right, in this country in that we have been allowed to live without any trauma-based anything, basically, for our entire lifetimes, for the most part, except for some people who are up above 60s, 70s, into the 80s who maybe went to Vietnam, maybe were in World War II. But for the high majority of us, we're all we're pansies. There you go. We haven't had to deal with any really tough situations. And they know that. So they know that images like that scare us. Here's another sign. It's like the police. And they got their armored vehicle, but they're taking a knee. What does that mean? They're taking a knee. Well, you would think that it means that they're suggesting some kind of peace, right? Some kind of mutual agreement of let's exist together, that kind of thing. Unless the knee, of course, that they're taking is on your neck. This is a sign, yet here we are, another sign that is orchestrated. Because this take a knee movement is orchestrated, and it's tied directly to the event that supposedly set all this off, taking a knee on somebody's neck. And now they're taking a knee to say, we have a mutual agreement to let's get along, right? Orchestrated. Same thing goes with some of the National Guard. They're playing into it. This captain in the National Guard playing into it. Here's another sign. Sign says, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Sometimes some signs we've seen before. Not like a stop sign. We have all seen those many times, but like a sign like this sign, enough is enough. right? Where have we seen that before? Most of you, some of you at least, know what I'm talking about. So the enough is enough sign, we're gonna come back to that in a big way, because it is, you might say, taken over right now, and there's a hidden meaning behind it, why it's taken over, and we're going to get into that. But since we're talking about signs, let's talk about some type of sign. Let's talk about hand signs. The clenched fist. What does that mean? Well, you could say it means I'm going to give you a knuckle sandwich, but even that itself lends to what it means, or where it came from, the raised in the air clenched fist. It's called fascism. It's a fascist sign. It means we are stronger together. Okay? The clenching of the fingers, bring them together as one unit and clenching it down as one ball of mass is stronger and tougher and harder to use as a weapon per se than necessarily the open hand. Individual fingers may break easier than a clenched fist. So the clenched fist raised in the air, fascist sign. And the person that gets most of the credit for that sign is, oh, this guy, right? But he's history, right? He's in the past. Well, back in the past, when he was around, he had basically everyone doing the clenched fist. We're stronger together. It's very easy to find. Even the children were doing the fascist clenched fist sign. You see, they've seen it as some kind of a solidarity thing, meaning we're all together. We're stronger all together. When the whole time they were under an illusion, you see. More clenched fists. Together. Fascism. Now wait a minute. How did we go from this and this to this? The raised, clenched fist. Well, you have to be able to read the signs. You see, just like these people were under a delusion, so were these people. And the people that had these people under a delusion, and has these people as well at the time under a delusion, were some of the same people. And they knew something. They knew that if you wanted to control a movement, like people wanting their freedom, you had to lead the movement, you see, and you had to give the movement their signs, the clenched fist, Here we are getting closer to today, just a few years back, the clenched fist, fascism sign. All being led by the nose. But the reason I'm showing you this is for you to be able to see the signs. Not just these, but some others we'll get into. But to see the signs and understand that the majority of everything we're dealing with is an illusion. They can have and will have some real world implications. But if you have the eyes to see and the knowledge to know when you look at a situation that's happening or that's happened, that it's an illusion and it's being controlled, you will make different decisions and choices than you would if you believed wholeheartedly that it was real. Here's Bernie. He is a outspoken communist, fascist. He admits it. And he's got his fascist clenched fist sign. And you can see a few people in the audience doing it as well. Oh, no. No, I didn't. I guess I did. Who is this doing the fascist sign? Well, of course, he didn't mean to do that, right? He doesn't mean that at all, does he? Well, what does he mean when he does the clenched fist? He couldn't be possibly signaling back to the guy that we give most of the credit for creating the clenched fist, fascist, stronger together sign. Well, we shall see. See, if you go online and look around, you'll notice that the clenched fist thing, the fascist symbol, is all over the BLM movement and all over almost every movement. The people are divided into different categories, yet still are using the same symbols to represent their movements of the enemy that they don't even know they have, or of the enemy that they know they have, but they don't realize that they're promoting their enemy. Help wanted to end the corrupt, and yet you're holding up a clenched fist, fascist hand sign. Delusional. See, it's the sign of what they believe is real. And this whole video is about being able to discern what is real and what situation you get in and you look at and say, this is not real. This part's not real. Okay, what is real? Okay, I need to deal with that. I need to react, take some measures, do something based on what is real. See, most people don't know that this guy, he practiced his hand signs, okay? He practiced his hand signs. The clenched raised fist, it was practiced. Hitler's call to arms, how the Fuhrer had a photographer help him practice his extreme hand gestures and body language. Here's some of his other poses that he would take. And then he would study them and determine what I'm trying to teach you, which is, what does this say to the masses, to the sheep? What does this say? I'm sure you have a thought or pattern of thoughts in your mind as what this says to you. Here's another one of his poses. And another. Creating signs to manipulate the people. And we're surrounded right now by these signs that are intended to manipulate you and me. The practice of this has been going on for probably thousands of years. Just certain personalities are more adept to perfecting the use of signs and symbols. And here we're back to this guy with the clenched fist again. Does this look like it was staged? Seems to be a popular theme, don't it? It's because all of the groups, if you want to control a group, you must lead the group. All of the groups, all of the organizations, all of the things that you see going on are being led by the same people, the same infiltrators. Every organized movement that you see taking place out there, and I can't say it's 100%, but it's close to it. They're all organized by the same people and controlled by the same people in one way, form, or another. Typically, there's a monetary element and there's a personnel element, the infiltrators, that they put either to originate and organize and fund the group, or either there's a group that's forming and then they send people in to infiltrate the group. Signs and symbols. You see all kinds of signs and symbols just in this image, and they're all meant to say something to your psyche, but yet none of them are real. They're all manifested and placed into your mind, and yet really represent nothing. You see, apparently we're all in this together. And in one way you could look at this, and we are all in this together. But there's a deeper meaning even behind that I've stated on this channel several times. That the together is to get her. This is a deeper battle that's going on, a spiritual battle and a DNA battle, DNA level battle that is about a much bigger thing than the smaller elements that we see going on. We see riots, we see food shortages, we see a pandemic, we see an election or a non-election, or we see all these things, but all of them are all parts and pieces and symbols and signs of the big distraction from the true goal that is actually happening. Now, if you think back, what was this guy mainly known for? Eugenics. The Nazis wanted to get rid of basically everybody but them. They thought and felt that they were the master race, okay? And so therefore, they wanted to exterminate, using one method or another, all other groups. And they would start with the easiest minority group that appeared to be the easiest to take out, you see. So what group today would appear to be or be the easiest group in order to take out? You know, what culture, or what ethnic group, or what religious group? And really, you got to look in each category to see. And I think you can answer those questions yourself. The clenched fist. He seems serious about it. Red Fist of Rome. Where did that come from? Ah, yes. All roads lead to Rome. Never was a statement more true. The storm before the storm. The beginning of the end of the American Republic. You see, this thing that's playing out right now has played out numerous times throughout history, whether you're aware of it or not. This is not the first time that these type of events have taken place with a goal of extermination, and have been partly successful every time throughout history. Back in 1918, this was played out back then. It is the most recent mass extermination that took place. And it took place via multiples of methods. The ones that were found to be most effective were the pushing of the inoculation program and the invention of broadcasting, the changing of the standard frequency that exists in the air around living creatures, including humans. And based on the molecular makeup of the plant, the animal, the human, some lives did not exist anymore. They died. And many of the people were taken out by the inoculations. I don't know which was more, which was less. That was 1918. And there's been an ongoing battle to get her. And it's about the reproductive system of the human being, to stop the growth under some fake pretense that there's not enough on this planet for all of us, and that they have to stop us because we're going to destroy the planet or something, when in all actual truth, they're the ones destroying the planet. But this storm has been here before, guys, and it's back. But we're back to a point where the storm is going to be bigger this time. We're back to a point that is even resonant larger than 1918, 100 years ago. This is a 500-year node, okay? At a minimum, this is a 500-year node. And 500 years is a period of time that major things are going to happen. And really, we're at more like a 8,000-year node. We're at a point where the dragon eats its tail. The Ouroboros. This period that we're going through here, and I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but it's a period of when the elites on this world want to extinguish us, the majority of us, and there will only be some that make it through. The ones that are the smartest, the ones that are the strongest, the ones that are really the ones that are the most awake and aware of what and how to react to these signs that you're going to see. If you're aware that the majority of these things that you'll see are orchestrated, you're going to be able to avoid these things and not get involved or let your brother drag you into a riot or let your daughter drag you into a hospital because she thinks you need to get a CV test or things along those lines, you're going to have to resist at all costs these things. So here we have some imagery going back to Rome again, and then all the way back to the pharaohs of Egypt. Ah, yes. Now we're getting closer to where it all started. The fascist clenched fist. Stronger together. Stronger to get her. Seems to be somewhat of a theme, doesn't it? Speaking of hand signs and themes, here's another one. And no, it wasn't by accident. How many symbols and signs do you see here? How many times does someone have to show you a certain sign in order for you to understand what they're talking about? On the right, you have a billionaire, but he's a billionaire that's able to be a billionaire, and all the other billionaires in the world are okay with him not liking them, and they don't do nothing to him. But that's because he's one of them. He's one of them. You see, they're standing in front of ISIS, the Statue of Liberty, and they're on the waters in a boat. It's symbolism. It's symbolism for and they're talking about the rebirth of China is what they're talking about. But really what they're talking about is the rebirth, the birth of ISIS, the ISIS giving birth. It all reflects back. Some of you will understand when I say to the heavens and to the Egyptian beliefs. Still running forth into today. 666 hand signs standing in front of ISIS on the water, claiming that they're going to create something new using the same system again. Lies and manipulations. There's nothing real here, guys, with this thing that they're doing. Nothing real. You can pause this and read it if you want to. I'm not going to do it for now. I will read my one comment. I said, nice, ISIS 666, Eye of Horse, hand signs, just like Trump and thousands of other Satanists around the world. You may fool the blind, but you're not fooling me or us. We know your birth and your new king. We will be triumphant. You will fail. It's already foretold. And they will fail, but they will certainly try. Somebody else noticed it too, said, notice that the Chinese dude to the right, his hand gestures. Says maybe something to look at, or I'm just overanalyzing. Nope. You're not. Okay, come on, my computer's acting up a little bit here. So going back to the hand sign, the clenched fist, right? and the standing with the arms raised out as in a Christ symbol, Christ on the cross. See, the majority of photos like this one that you will get, these are staged photos in a staged event with actors all around, sprinkled with some of the public that think they're involved in something, that think they're doing something that's fighting for something, and have no idea that they're just being manipulated. I wanted to show this to you. Probably some of you have seen it. It's the Minneapolis Police Department. Supposedly an image of it burning down, and it's mirrored right down the middle, and you get the beast rising with the crown on its head. You see that? Here are all your police departments and all of their allegiances to the pyramid, you know. Same thing goes with these guys. They burnt down their own police department and then make out like protesters did it. When the protesters, they bust them in and then brought in agitators to set the fire. And then they staged their pictures and their photos and photo ops. It looks like to me that place was boarded up from the inside before it burnt. Nah, they wouldn't do that. Point one quick thing out, guys. I saved this picture here. One of y'all guys sent this to me too. This app, you know, the one right in the middle, it's installing on people's phones without you having to choose to install it. Just be aware. So now let's look at the clenched fist some more. We have one right here. Clenched fist. But what is this? Well, this is excuse me, this is Trump's coat of arms. You see? It's a clenched fist reaching through a cube, coming out of a helmet across water. That's water, which represents time. This means to catch the tip of the spear across time. This is to throw a spear 500 years ago and then catch it today. And that is Trump's coat of arms. The tip of the spear. Just like you see on his jerseys and his shirts and stuff. Just like his building, Trump Tower. You see, it's a spear coming straight down. See it? The tip of the spear at the bottom. It's also something else. It's also a 5G sign. See the steps? That's the 5G and probably could qualify as a 6G sign. See, if you just reversed it, come over here on this side. Looks like the 5G sign, or could also be the signal sign on your phone. And what does that mean? It means that is the tip of the spear, and it's an invisible spear. You don't even know it's in you. This building is on 56th Street, 5th Avenue and 56th. And if you go here and you count the blocks that are missing up to the 5th level, You have 56 blocks that are missing that would make out the rest of the building if it was there. It has 5 levels and 56 blocks missing. And it's on 5th Avenue and 56th Street. Not by chance. And here's the tip of the spear again. Trump always does it anytime he sits. Most of you know this. He was also the tip of the spear at West Point. You can look up his photos and see that at his graduating class, he was at the tip of the point of the spear of the graduation class. He was the top student. He was the tip of the spear. And he is the tip of the spear, part of it anyways. But you can see his allegiance, how it lays different people around the world, like Angela Merkel. He does the exact same sign just like her all the time. She just does it when she's standing, and he does it when he's sitting. Hitler did it when he was standing most of the time in the photos I could find. And isn't that an interesting resemblance between those two people and the 3 people that's on the bottom? Do you know why that is? It is what it is. And what does that mean about Trump using the tip? Making his building and his coat of arms the tip, when all of these people are using the tip, showing the hand signs. It means they're all in a gang together, a secret gang. See, these are 3 sisters that run 3 countries in Europe. And they're the daughter of Hitler. 3 daughters of Hitler running 3 countries in Europe. And they say that this race, these genes here are the best genes on the planet. These 3 girls are supposedly, well, 3 women now, are supposedly the best the world has to offer. I beg to differ, because they are literally just homely looking as you can get. Just to throw a little personal opinion in there. You see, they said Hitler he was a nobody, and he came out of nowhere and become all-powerful in Germany. Just like Zuckerberg was a nobody, and he invented Facebook coming out of college. Just like Bill Gates was a nobody, and he invented Microsoft in his garage and built computers for the first time ever in his mother's garage. And it's all 3, just like most everything, all a lie. All a method of coming at you from the most docile angle they can to get the knife into your back as fast as they can. Also, see, Hitler, he was a eugenist. He wanted to wipe out everything but the Aryan race. But he also was well, let's just say he had a bunch of concubines, and he had a bunch of children. He had many women that, one method or another, he impregnated throughout time and built a huge group of bloodline. And he wasn't the only one that was doing this. It was done many places across the planet. to build the bloodline so he would have loyal subjects, you might say. I'm not saying all these people were his children. A lot of them were just blindness followers. I mean, look at the faces on some of these people, how they're looking at him. They're like zombified out of their brains, like. And that's the power of personality sometimes. Goat in the Attic is a book that's written about Hitler. It says young girls' memories of Hitler's occupation of Poland. The title fascinates me, The Goat in the Attic. And most of you understand why that title probably fascinates me. It's more clenched fists, hands in the air. It is amazing what was accomplished. And it's basically to that level right now. Just think about how many people that Trump has following him and just totally trust the plan. Okay? They totally believe this one man single-handedly, for the first time in history, is going to take down the evil. And I know there's some of you listening to my voice that still want to believe that that's the case. And I wish that it was the case. But I can see the signs and the symbols. Another book that has to do with a goat in referencing Hitler that I haven't read yet. I saved this slide for you also. I wanted you to see it. 3 different events. One happened on May 25th. One happened on May 28th. And one happened on May 30th. They're taking a knee. It's symbolism for what is the intention of what they're going to do. And it's also symbolism for who they see as the group that's going to be first or the most attention on. If you would go and look at the statistics of how many black men and how many black women are said to be dead from the corona, you'll find that it's a very high percentage, considering that they're only like 11 or 13% of the population of the United States. In a lot of cases, because they're being murdered in the hospitals. These events, I don't believe either one of these events are actual real event. I believe that they were all 3 orchestrated and filmed with professional cameras. Well, may have been a cell phone camera, but on a professional gimbal, a system that stabilizes the phones. And there's also footage out there that shows from, like this event on the left, that shows from another angle that it was a completely different shot at a different moment, where George Floyd's head was further down beside the car when they had their knee on his neck. His head wasn't sticking out past the bumper. It was back closer towards the tire. And all the people were in different positions, and some of the people weren't even there. It's all orchestrated. Just like this. You don't know who here for sure, but the majority of these people were bussed in. But you don't know who in the mix are manipulating the other people that are there. But it all is. See, the majority of everything you see here is all absolutely all that you see here is orchestrated chaos, intended to create chaos. But I'm hoping by doing videos like this that some of you are going to be able to see through the chaos and know what's real and what's not real. Now, if you were here, like this lady or man, I think it's a lady that's getting ran over by the truck. If you were there, it's very real. But the whole event itself is fake, orchestrated. Yet, if you get involved, it will have real consequences. So we have to do everything we can to be smart and not get involved with these situations, or we will be a victim. These people believe that they're fighting actually for something, and they're not fighting for nothing. They're not achieving anything. All they're doing is falling directly into the plan of the puppet masters. Now we're back to enough is enough. And we're almost done. Enough is enough, people were shouting. A plea, as you can see down at the bottom, that George Floyd's death can bring us light. Enough is enough. A plea that George Floyd's death can bring us light. If you think about some of the videos I've done talking about certain animated videos, you should be able to tie some things here. Enough is enough. It's showing up everywhere. And I mean everywhere now. And it's because there's for sure one event coming, but it's tied to the chaos. You even can get your own mask that says enough is enough. Having meetings, speaking out loud, enough is enough. June 3rd, 1 p.m., the Virtual Lounge. Get your t-shirt for $19.90. BLM, Justice for GF. The fascist symbol tied with enough is enough. More events. Have a Scotch Porter brand promoting enough is enough. BLM promoting enough is enough. And this would be a propaganda photo. Enough is enough. When is enough going to be enough? This is all stacking up to an event that's going to happen here, I feel probably reasonably soon, that some of you already know what I'm going towards. Enough is everywhere right now. And there it is. Just like the many other events that were predicted by these cards that were manufactured in 1995. A playing card game called the Illuminati playing card game. Predicted a bunch of events. Let's see what events this card predicts. Well, enough is enough. That's kind of like tying into what's happening right now, right? It says, at any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. Play this card on your own turn before drawing any plots. You may remove all zap, paralysis, or attribute freeze cards that are affecting your power structure. However preoccupied with your house cleaning, you may draw no plots this turn. So if you read into that, it's saying that you may remove all zap, paralysis, or attribute freeze cards by pulling this card. It's an assassination card. And who is it that's in the image? Well, of course, that's the president. If you believe in that such a thing as America and presidents, I know it's a hard one to shake. Well, what else is it showing us? Well, if you look real close, you can see the cerveza bug all over the card, with the little pyramids upside down and right side up, with virus all over the card. Does that tell you anything about the timing of when this might happen? Yeah, probably pretty soon. Pretty soon. And what do you think with all these people that are just absolutely believe that this man is their savior? What do you think they're going to do when if it happens this way? And I'm not saying it will, but if a black man was accused of killing the president, or if a group tied to BLM or something like that said that they shot him, they killed him, they injured him, something along those lines, what level of chaos and racial tensions do you think would break out in this country? It would be over the top. There's some other cards that are tied with, that are from this game. Many of you are familiar. Epidemic, martial law, all playing out right now. This is the front of the cover. There's George Bush on the strings, and every other president on the strings, dancing with the assassination weapon and a knife and the tape. From the card, the tape runs out. Here are some of the cards for you people that haven't seen these before. Many of these things have played out. This is one that I think is in play now. It's on the table. So this card in itself is a sign, of course. And you have to be able to determine what it means. And I've studied this card for a long time, and the reason why I bring it up is because it has the CV bug on it. Right there in the center of the reel. See the center of the reel? It has operation number 1 that's going on right now. Then it also has operation number 2 that's going on right now, right on that tape reel. See it? The middle is the cerveza bug, and the area that surrounds it looks like the symbol for radiation. And it's not by chance. And also the tape itself, it all originates and starts where? Well, there's China and India, and it comes right out of Wuhan. So the tape starts in Wuhan, sweeps around, and comes back to the player. The thing that is broadcasting the image, the signs, the things that we have to read and determine what's really going on. This card, it says, when the rapture comes, I'll make them wait. To me, that's some kind of, it kind of says reset to me. Kind of says like, either back up, like Trump says, we got to get back, or something along those lines. It says they'll never clean my cage. They'll give me some more of, and then it says tape runs out. So what else would cause extreme chaos in this world? Is if there was extreme chaos going on, and I mean extreme chaos going on, and television and the internet and everything went down, and you had no communication, no cell phones, no phones, no nothing, unless you happen to have a ham radio maybe. I'm not for sure, but I know what I see right here, and I know what I see right here. Feel free to leave a comment on that, you know. See, there's the sign that I'm talking about. See the reel? It's just like that, with the CV bug in the middle. Just like was on that image. It was from a scene from My Pet Goat, where they were inside the chest with the CV exploding. And the scene right before it was the man drowning. Yep. So guys, the purpose of this video was to make y'all guys aware of some things. Possible RF radiation hazard for pregnant women. So radio frequency damages women's ability to be fertile. The majority of this whole game is about that. It's about the destruction of the human race through making people infertile, men as well as women, and to cause people to kill themselves through not being able to read the signs and symbols well enough to stay out of harm's way. That they will go and get involved or submit to something. And lastly, I'm going to say it again, that it is their intention to put such great pressure on us going into this fall and winter, and some of the chaos is going to start in the summer probably. They're not going to give us too much of a break. Probably July 4th sounds like a good date. But they are going to put pressure on us, and all of these things that you think you need to survive, other than water, food of some kind, and shelter, and you better figure out where you can get all three of those at without having to go to Uncle Sam or anything he owns, like the grocery store or the pharmacy. Yeah, all those things that you think you need, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. And you better start now. And I'm not telling you to do anything dumb that'll hurt yourself. In fact, I'm not telling you to do anything specific. But other than deal with and realize that if you're going to continue to want those things, or water from the city, or any of these things, you better figure out how to be able to provide it to yourself, or have enough store to last a long time. They haven't come all this way at this point to turn back. And you have to sometimes ask yourself, well, how far will they take it? Well, how far did they take it in Hitler's rule? How far did they take it in Stalin's rule? Or Mao? Or many other situations? They're willing to take it pretty far. And I think that we're on that path. And I don't like talking about these negative and scary things, which is why I'm trying to teach you and show you how to not be as afraid as you would otherwise be, by being able to see the signs. I don't know how long this internet thing's going to keep working. As long as it'll keep working, I'll keep doing this. I've got a lot of other things I'm working on, including getting Operation Radiation back going. It's still up, it's out there, but I'm going to get back up on not only my channel, but numerous other channels, and some other projects I'm working on. I'm just one man, it takes time. And lastly, two things. Number one, lastly, and then number two. Number one, lastly, thank you guys that have supported my channel for quite a while now. Many of you that go without any recognition for the support that you've provided to me. And it's just simply, I do it. I don't try to show anybody off that has made a donation or do anything like that, because of what Jesus said in the Bible about the things that when you do good, you do them in a certain way, and not go up on the mountaintop and say, hey, look what I did. So I try to follow that direction. And the other side of it is this: I'm just one man, and it takes a lot of time out to do everything that I do. And I'm doing the best I can. Lately I've been having, I don't know if I'm under some kind of an attack or what it is, but I've been having some health issues. And it's making it tough, but I'm going to drive on and keep bringing information to y'all guys. So thank you very much for all your support throughout the time that you've been here and I've been here. And we'll keep going. And lastly, I love you, and God loves you. And just because I'm not there with you, or you're not here with me, does not mean that we can't love each other. Y'all guys have a great night. I'll talk to you again soon. This has been Daniel Alexander Cannon, here on Logic Before Authority.